Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of my Inktober preparations. In this video, I'm going to be doing a few more sketches, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about how you can make Inktober a lot less intimidating, whether it's your first time embarking on the challenge or if you've done it 5 times already. We're going to talk about it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into sketching a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and talk about Inktober. And I'm just doing a tiny little thumbnail here. Sometimes I like to do this before I do a main drawing. I'll want to kind of see if the pose works and the idea on a much smaller scale before I do a larger drawing. So in my last video, I got a couple comments about the Inktober challenge and how intimidating it can be. And believe me, I 100% agree. 31 ink drawings is a very intimidating challenge, which is why I started to learn to plan ahead for it. But another point I want to make that might help make this challenge a little less intimidating, I don't know, is maybe we shouldn't put too much emphasis on completing the actual 31-day challenge, which I know sounds weird, but let me just go ahead and show you guys some of the work I did from the very first time I completed Inktober, and I actually did all 31 days. You're not going to see all 31 in this sketchbook. I'm just going to show you guys a few things. And as you can see, it's not terrible work, especially in the beginning. And basically, I would just look at the prompt the day of and draw whatever came to my head. And with that kind of strategy of basically just every day trying to figure out how to check that box of I did my Inktober, my work got worse and I would get stressed out about it, and eventually everything I did was just random little doodles. I mean, I drew Winnie the Pooh. Why? I don't know. I was just trying to make it to the finish line, and all of my work that I did in the very end was just so boring. So, anyway, back to my point. I think the best way to participate in Inktober is to worry less about completing the challenge and more about making art that you really enjoy. Now, obviously, I still encourage you to plan as much as you can in order to have the best chance at completing the challenge, but keep the pressure low. And if you make it to the 31-day mark, that's great. And if not, at least you have, some really awesome illustrations to be proud of, and you had a lot of fun doing them. So that's just my perspective going into this challenge, and I hope it helps you guys as well. So obviously I'm drawing a mermaid, and I've thought about participating in Mermay, which is Tom Bancroft's 31-day May challenge for drawing. You do 31 mermaids, and I just don't have a use for 31 mermaids. I think it'd be cool to participate. Maybe I'll do like one mermaid drawing for Mermay next year. But I have no reason to be drawing 31 mermaids. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder about doing live streams of my sketching. The only thing is that I wouldn't know what to say. Like, I barely know what to say with these videos sometimes. And, like, this is, like, shortened versions of my sketching. I could go on for hours doing little thumbnails and crappy sketches. But I'm not actually talking when I'm drawing, obviously. That's why I do a voiceover instead most of the time. So, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do a live stream, but I also don't know if it'd be fun for you guys just to sit there with me in silence. Maybe that's something further down the line when I get more experience doing this, so we'll see. So something that I wanted to mention is I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to be able to film every single sketch that I do, especially because sometimes I sketch at night or randomly when I don't have the ability to get a good shot of what I'm doing. And honestly, that's what's really hard about like filming and sketching at the same time, is that I can't just worry about what I'm drawing. I have to also worry about my phone camera, having enough storage, making sure I'm pausing, so the video doesn't run too long for when I have to edit, or, making sure that the lighting is just right. So there's a lot of factors that go into, sketching and filming that I can't worry about every time if I want to make all my sketches in time for Inktober. So what we're going to do basically is just maybe a few sketches here and there that I show you guys that I do. And obviously you're going to see everything when Inktober comes around, so it won't be a problem. It's just coming up with the ideas and getting those ideas on paper is a process that I would prefer to have more of my focus on the drawing and not the filming aspects. So that's just what we're going to do. Okay, so I am jumping into this one here. I did a little thumbnail sketch like I did in the other illustration. And now I'm just kind of working through the pose. I do this a lot too. Basically, when I make my thumbnail, it's more to just get the idea on the paper. And this idea is this girl is hiding behind this tree, waiting for this wolf basically to either kill it or defend herself against it. And so it's a pretty crappy drawing, obviously. There's no shame in that. But that is the general idea, and I need to work on the composition and the pose, which is what I'm going to do now. That's why I'm drawing them separately. This is just kind of how I work sometimes if I'm just really struggling to get something on the paper. I will start at the very roots of it and just get the most basic, ugly drawings on the paper just to get it out. And then I will go in and I will tweak different things. So I'm working on the pose here. And these arrows might be confusing to you. They're more for me than they are for you. What I do sometimes is I'll draw this pose, like this first pose, and then anything I want to change or adjust, I'll kind of like visually like tell myself, okay, this needs to move this direction, this needs to move that direction, just so when I go to draw the next pose like I'm doing here, I place things correctly. It works in my head that way. It might seem kind of confusing, but that's just kind of how my brain works when I'm drawing people in particular poses and moving them around. So this other pose, the second pose that I'm doing, I'm tightening it up a bit, kind of making it a little more like this person is hiding. And so I ended up shifting the body a little bit more away from the direction that she's looking. And then I still kind of like the first one, just because it seems like it has a lot more action to it. So I might do like a hybrid of the two in the final drawing. So yeah, here I am redoing the pose now that I kind of know where the body needs to be. I'll still rework it like a billion times because anatomy's hard. And sometimes I just need to keep working through it to get the right pose that I want. So yeah, this is kind of turning into like Little Red Riding Hood, except she's not so little. And I guess I should mention this. This is for actually one of the prompts that is in the official Inktober list. It's for the day dagger. I don't remember the number, what day it is. Probably day like 14 or something. But that is the illustration that I'm working on here, is for Dagger. And she's obviously holding a little dagger. And we're going to have the wolf. Obviously, he's going to be much bigger than he was in my little thumbnail. I'm going to make him a very large wolf, just lurking in the back. I'm not great at drawing wolves. You can see that here. We're going to work on that eventually. So yeah, this is the illustration. And I think I said this in the last video, these are going to be much more cleaned up when I transfer the drawings over to their actual watercolor paper that I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to do a video on that. It's probably going to be one of the last videos in this series that I'm doing. But yeah, we're going to see a cleaner version of these sketches, hopefully. we're going to switch over to do another character portrait, and we're going to do a prince, or maybe he's a king, I don't know. We're going to give him some really flowy hair, so bear with his baldness right now. Every time I mess with like a character's nose, I always remember the line in Tangled where, you know, Eugene's like, oh, they just can't get my nose right. And that's all that I think about whenever I'm working on a character's nose. We're also going to give him a crown because I think it's kind of fun to do like a really intricate, detailed crown. So it's not just a character portrait, but it's also got this really rich and detailed crown on his head that's kind of fun to do in ink. I think I want to add something decorative like I did for the other character portraits. So I'm just going to add some little design here on the side, just because it's really fun to do. I might do more, but for now, we're just going to keep it simple because we don't want to do too much and distract from the actual character. But believe me, it's sometimes very hard to control that urge to just keep drawing little designs around. All right, that is a wrap on my sketching for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. In my next video, we are going to be doing fan art from Over the Garden Wall and How to Train Your Dragon. So if you don't want to miss that, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.